Hi, this is Maria Ng from your HEB Instructional Technology Department, and today I wanted to go over how to create tabs to sort your data in spreadsheets. This is particularly helpful if you're using a Google form to collect data from parents, students, teachers, or the district, and you're wanting to separate it based on campuses or have a tab created for each student or things of that nature. So let me get started walking you all through that. So I have a communication log here, and that's just generic information, but you would have it filled in. So for example, here for each student, I would actually have a drop-down option with student names on it. You could, if you were doing a different type of questionnaire, maybe a drop down with each campus. So basically the whole point of this is that whatever you're wanting to sort your data by, you need to have it as a drop down or a multiple choice option. You need to have some consistency because this is going to be my trigger question to create my tabs. So if this was a short answer and they got to just type their name in, they may type their name in different each time. They may go by a nickname. They may include their last name on one. They may not on the next. Campuses, we know that some of them will do like the 3 letters, or they'll just type the first word of the campus, or like Trinity could be Trinity High School, Trinity GHS, THS, etc. So we want to have that consistency here. So again, whatever it is that you're wanting to be that trigger to create your separate tabs, whatever you're wanting to separate your information by, you need to have this pre-filled out for them to select from your options. So once you've done that, you'll go to your responses and create your spreadsheet. Okay, so I've got the timestamp, the date was a question, name was a question, and reason for contact and comment. So these were the 4 questions in my form, and then there'll be the timestamp. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to make a new tab. Okay, so it'll be a sheet 2, and I'm going to rename it, and I would name it either the campus name or the student name. So on my sheet, it was option 1, so that could be like Johnny Appleseed, student's name, or Trinity High School, THS. Okay, whatever you can name this. This is however you name this is not going to affect any way that it pulls over. So if this was a questionnaire to parents and you actually wrote out Trinity High School, Arbor Creek Elementary, because they may not know the 3-letter acronym, on your sheet down here, you can just write ACE, BME, THS, even if it's written out. So this is just for your information. This does not matter. Okay, so then typically what I will do is I'm going to copy, so I'll highlight Control C. So I just usually click on that first box, Control V, and I could paste in those headers. And this is where if you want to make it look a little bit nicer for organization, here you can color in and bold, maybe I want that a little bit lighter. If I want to box them in, okay, whatever I want to do to make it look pretty to organize that data. Okay, so then what I'm going to need to do is include a formula to pull that information in. So I have a formula. Okay, it's a query formula, and I just have this on a document, and I'll share this with you guys at the end. I'll make a bit.ly to this document so you can pull it up and look at it. And I always just copy it, go back to my spreadsheet, in that first row, Control V, paste that in. I'm going to have to update this to match what's on my first sheet. And I want this to come from column A, and it's going to start in row 2. So column A, row 2. Okay, and if you look, it's only through column E. So whatever your last column is what the second letter is. So I'm going to change this to E. Okay, and you can see it turned orange. So it matches. That means it's been triggered. Now, what I'm wanting here is what columns do I want to pull over? So I'm going to put A, B, C, D, E. If you don't want your timestamp, you could do B, C, D, and E. But I'm going to include everything because I do have timestamp here. So you're going to do, the way this should be is A, comma, space, B, comma, space, etc. Okay, and if I had more rows, so if you go all the way to column AC, you're going to go A through Z, comma AA, comma AB, etc. So I'm only going through E, and I'm going to delete the rest. There's no comma. If you notice, there's no comma after the last letter. So after E, I'm going to get rid of the comma. Where, and so this is where I'm going to figure out my trigger. So I'm looking at name. So where column C, change that to C, equals, and then this is going to be whatever the name is. So if I look at my spreadsheet, option 1. So sometimes if it's like a kid's name, a lot of times I'll do is I'll copy it from my sheet to make sure I have it exactly, because it needs to be exactly, and then I'll paste that in. Okay, so what we will see, I'm going to show you how this will work. So I'm going to go to my form, fill it in. So today's date, I'm going to choose option 1, pick my options, type in whatever extra comment I want, hit submit. Okay, now if I go to my spreadsheet, you can see where it's been completed. If I go to option 1, it came over. So, but now we can see that my timestamp and my date, those are not correct. So what you'll do is select that column, and I'm going to go to Format, Number, and this is date and time. So I'm going to select that to change it. So if I drag this out a little bit further, you can see it has the total timestamp. And then I'm going to highlight column B for date, Format, Number, and this is just date, and it'll update that date. If it messes up again, once you fill it in a second time, you can just keep updating that. It's just one of the weird quirks that happen when I create these formulas. So now what I want is I'm going to do this again for each additional tab. So the nice thing is, since the formula is already in there, all I'm going to have to do is update it. So now I'm going to right click this option 1, duplicate, and it'll say copy of option 1. I'm going to rename it to whatever the next thing was on my list. So in this case, it was option 2. Okay, so whatever the name was in your option 2 of your drop down. So this might be Susie Q. And I'm going to go here. That formula is in. I don't need to change anything other than, so I'm going to highlight that, paste it in, okay, and you can see that goes away. So now to show you, I'm going to submit another response and fill this in now with my option 2. So if I go back to my spreadsheet, now you can see I've got it filled in twice. Option 1 only has my information for option 1. Option 2 now has the information I completed for option 2. And you can see my timestamp held when I made that copy and bring it over. And then you would just repeat this process. Right click, make a copy, rename it, go to your option, copy your third one, paste it into the formula on the next tab. And you just continue this process until you have got all of your tabs created, and then from now on, every time that form is completed, you have your master sheet here with everything on it, but then all of your individual data that you want to look at is separated into individual tabs, making it a lot easier for you to review that data. I will have at the very end of this video a quick little bit.ly for you to get to the document that has the formula that I used. So I'm going to make a little bit.ly to get you here, and then all you're going to have to do is type in that bit.ly. It'll take you to this document. You can copy this formula, paste it into your spreadsheet, and then edit it to match just like I did. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'm excited for you guys to be organize your data in your sheets.